about, I have a few notes and I was going to title this video Shanann, Chris Watts, and Nicole Kissinger. Certain observations on that triad. Shanann Watts. I'm pondering if she may have had a life-changing experience. I'm pondering what she might be like before she had lupus or was diagnosed. Anyway, it was said that she had a much bigger and incredible house before she met, or she was together with Chris Watts, or married him, in North Carolina. And she was in a high-ranking position at a company. Don't know if it's a level of a CEO position. And usually, when you have these type of business position, the circle that you move around, you don't really have real friends. You may have shallow friends. I'm not putting down anybody that has money necessarily as that, but depending on the crowd you move with, or you're moving in with. Shanann often said that Chris Watts was not her type. I'm not so sure what that means. He comes from a working class, and so does she. But it could be physical appearance, it could be so many different things in terms of his temperament. But I wonder if the lupus caused her to have a life-changing experience where she might have changed her outlook on life. That happens to people sometimes. The crisis changes your ways. And then she said that she lost many friends because her friends couldn't understand that she was sick. So they sound like, according to what she's saying, they sound like we call fair weather friends. And then at a time of need, they had deserted her, and then Chris was there for her and earned her trust and earned her heart. So then we ponder also, did Shanann Watts move away from North Carolina just only to move away from Chris's family, which was toxic? I would say almost poisonous in some way. Or it was said that she had moved away from North Carolina to be also away from her own mother. But there's differences between Shanann's relationship with her own mother and Chris's relationship with his mother. Because Shanann Watts explained, apparently she was in touch with her mother regularly, on a regular basis. They were in touch by phone, and she has heirlooms, like she showed this heirloom of cookbook, handwritten by her grandmother and her mother, and she said, my mother taught me how to cook. So she did have a somewhat sounding connection with her mother, a relationship. So when diagnosed, apparently she lost all the fair weather friends. She may have had a tremendous life changes, or a life-changing experience at that time. She may have been more real, become a more real person. And sometimes that happens. Less shallow, perhaps. I don't know exactly what she was like, but sometimes people become, they seem to understand more what it's like for those who suffer when they suffer themselves. And she got involved with money raising for Lupus Foundation and some other types of organization as well. I also want to say again, there's things that are very peculiar sorry to keep bringing up that word to describe what I observed, but Shanann Watts had that car accident and she had a scar on her forehead. It seemed that Chris Watts it seemed like he was trying to make sure to mention that to the interrogators as a way of letting them know that that's not something he did, that he didn't hit her on the head or something like that previously, because he was not a wife beater. And that's when she developed issues with her neck. When you hit your head really hard on a car accident, or even if you don't hit your head, often you're going to have neck problems. The thing about hitting your head really hard is sometimes you can have what is called brain injury, and there's very specific behaviors that people who have brain injury display. She didn't show those. She seemed very patient with her daughters, very calm. She was keeping her cool, incredible amount of patience, just like any mom. But she said that she did have she seemed to have memory problems, and I wonder if that's what Chris used to his advantage in hiding. It's possible that she also never would have ever in a million years had anticipated or imagined that her husband would cheat on her. First of all, because he seemed like such a loyal and good husband, and second, she might know the history of him, that he was quiet, he didn't date in high school, he only had 2 short lasting relationships with women. And I also would be very interested to know what those women who dated him, what the impressions they got of him. Did they leave him because he was very strange, different? It'd be nice to know what they thought. You know, is there any interviews of previous Chris Watts flames or girlfriends? Apparently he only had 2. It seemed like she really loved her husband and tried to make him as well happy. Even if she said things chicken tongue, they didn't seem to be said with malice. They didn't seem to be said as abusive, with an abusive tone like people try to make it be. Perhaps even in a playful way. And sometimes she was very puzzled. In the case of the roast, of the pot roast, where he started to cook or took out both pot roasts that were huge. She seemed more puzzled, like, well, but I gave him instructions and I mentioned all these things and I told him, and her dad, Shanann's dad, is coming to the defense of Chris. Well, you know, and then there was this constant thing, a theme that Chris himself was creating, that he didn't know how to cook. Sometimes people, when there's one thing they really don't want to do, that's the one thing they do wrong or they do poorly because they don't want to do it. Makes kind of sense. I remember the son of a friend of mine, they would never ask him to do the dishes because he would splatter the whole kitchen with water. It was all water everywhere, splashed. So they say, no, you don't do the dishes like that. That's clever. That's clever. That's how you get out of a chore that you don't like. And even when Chris Watts is pleasing, he's odd and pleasing. He looks pretty awkward. It doesn't look like a joy in. Like, it doesn't look like he's comfortable in his own skin, and he doesn't look like he's comfortable with himself or around people. That's the impression that I get. There's a video of Chris and Shanann. I believe they're in San Diego, probably, and obviously she's filming or videoing with her phone, and Chris is holding 2 drinks. He's drinking out of one and he's holding the other one. And it looks like, to me, it looks like he's holding Shanann's drink while Shanann is videoing. And he looks very strange. I mean, there are ways that a husband would be holding his wife's drink, but there's just something bizarre, and I wish I could put my finger on it. Some things just didn't look like connecting. And so what I mean by that is also when you see the two of them together, it seems like there is a getting along type of relationship between the two of them. They both kept saying that they got along well. It's almost like a good working relationship with some love, but you don't see much of the, well, they're not going to make a film about them gazing into each other's eyes, but maybe some American couples are like that, but you don't see like a couple that is, it's hard to see the love. And of course, after 8 years, perhaps couples just become comfortable with one another. So when I used to think that Shanann pans the video really quickly by her husband and doesn't give him a lot of camera time, I'm wondering if that was also the reason why she didn't, because did he look awkward, did he look odd sometimes? And you have those occasions when you're with people that they don't look comfortable under the skin, or they just look like they stick out a little bit, or they're just different. And you know, she might have been okay with that. She just didn't put him on the video a lot, although he's a lot in there. But like I said, sometimes she's panning past and then pauses very short for a very short time. So then you wonder if that's the reason why. So one thing about them talking about narcissism. Narcissism is a stunted growth. It seems that because of the lack of nurturing care from parents, often the lack of good parental care, parents that are very self-absorbed, they're really only concerned about themselves more than anything else, more than their own kids. And you can see that with Cindy Watts. She's more concerned about what she didn't like and what she didn't like and what she didn't like, all about herself more than, and Chris as an extension of her, than being concerned about honoring her son's choices and honoring that this is the wife that he chose, and honoring that and respecting it. So it gives the signs that he may have been raised by somewhat of a very self-absorbed mother. And what that happens with children and kids is that they don't develop fully also to become, they don't have what they're missing, they don't have what they're missing, so they also become somewhat self-absorbed, and they become with that stunted growth. But some people might be very puzzled at Chris Watts having a family and a relationship that had lasted 88 years. I was puzzled about that too. Well, when this new video that has come out about Ted Bundy is surfacing, it's actually indicating that Ted Bundy had a relationship with a woman that had a child, and it looked just like as normal as you can be. So often people might think that a psychopath, and often people want to interchangeably use the word of sociopath, but I like to use the term psychopath because I think there's more psychopathic traits in terms of killing the daughters, his own flesh and blood, and being so nonchalant the next day when he talks to the news cameras, and everything that he talks about is, I want them back, I feel this way, I miss this, everything is it's all about him. Very interesting, very, very interesting. But when you see that, the cover out, the planning, if there was any planning, which seems like there was, and there is that lack of remorse. Even when he does the interview afterwards, it looks more like a lot of regret. He probably doesn't like that he lost his freedom, but there is no real remorse that you can really, it looks like a lot of acting to me. Anyway, the thing is that, so some of these people might show that normalcy. Oh, just the next door neighbor with their family. Bundy surely showed that. And also in terms of about psychopathy being just simply inborn, they can also be environmental factors as well. When you look at Dahmer, and I hope I'm pronouncing it right, Jeffrey Dahmer, his mother's a mess. Just if you look at the interview that they have with her, my goodness, what you see is worse than Cindy Watts. I would say way worse. So they look normal, and they could be bad at bringing or environmental factors in that way. So psychopaths, they don't look like the way you would see them on TV. It's scary, and that they'll immediately give you the creeps, and you immediately would know that this is a psychopath because they look like crazy people. They don't. And that is why you can't trust everybody. You can't just, you have to be careful with whatever is out there. Just be careful. It's a jungle. There are predators, and there are people who are prey. Don't be a prey. Be careful. And what I wanted to say about, because I was talking about Shanann Watts and Chris Watts, and then I wanted to talk about Nikki, is that the way she was texting her friend, check this out, she did Google when marrying your mistress, or when he says that he'll leave his wife for his mistress. Those are two Google searches she did. So the relationship may have started really just as an extramarital affair with possible understanding that he is a married man. He's taken. He belongs to his family. He belongs to somebody. If you can just say, people belong to people, you usually belong to the family you have. I just thought she's saying, oh, I found this guy and he's really, I don't know what word she used, cute, but I'm keeping it a secret because I haven't made up my mind. The callousness of breaking a home and a family, and I just don't have much more word for that. So that describes, I think, a certain pathology as well. That's not, healthy people don't go around breaking homes and breaking families. And getting in the way of things. She knew. Chris Watts lies, but in this case, he was probably telling the truth. He also wanted to save face, but when I was thinking about this, did he lie about Nikki knowing that he was married? If you look at those searches, he will leave his wife for his mistress. That's one search. The other one is marrying your mistress, not marrying your girlfriend. Something tells you that things were not right. I'm arriving to my destination 10-4. Roger that. Have a very beautiful day.